welcome to the updated NAOR Cup Series Season 6 race number 6 of here at EchoPark Speedway, are also known as Atlanta. We're trying to get this fixed up. Sorry for no graphics tonight. Trying to fix ATO currently, but it's just currently not working right now. So we're gonna try and go through this. Try and fix this up for now, but we're trying to work this out as best as I can. But currently on the pole tonight for our DN9 Designs Pole Award was the 48 of Jonathan Parker. So he will take the pole for tonight's 120 lap event here tonight. And starting second will be the 54 of Braden Holt. Josh Adams will start third. Get this going backwards here. Braden Holt will start. So Josh Adams will start third. Starting fourth will be Cole Snyder, Giovanni Klein, Chris Wright, Kyle Taub, 4700 Peach. I believe it'll be Josh Arnold starting there. Trying to see who this 17 is. Exactly here it is. Just an unsponsored car. Trying to just see how this works. See paint schemes here. You got Mike Campbell. I got a 27 there. Sam Wade. You got trying to see the name tags here, but Mike Campbell there. You got Nick Capiak, Marcus Weather, Steve Maggio, one Machine Hunter Peach, the 82. Chris Wright back in the 28. He's taking it well. Donnie Kite starting towards the back as well tonight. So we will come to one to green here, but Jonathan Parker, our DN9 Designs Pole Award, and there was Coulter's cards starting lineup. We'll try our best to get through these situations here. Lack of graphics. So once we get a caution, I'll try and quickly reboot this session. Hopefully we can get the iRacing ticker up. Try and find something else. Try to work on this really quickly. Jonathan Parker will start on the pole. And they work their way down the back straightaway into turn pavilion, trying to graphics working as quickly as possible. Apologies once again for the lack of graphics tonight. Jonathan Parker, Braden Holt on the front row. But off of turn number 4 down to the front straightaway. And Jonathan Parker, Braden Holt going to lead him to green for tonight's 120 lap event here from Atlanta. Well, green flags in the air. We're underway here from EchoPark Speedway. Race number 6 of the season. Down the back straightaway here on lap number 1. Lap number 2 now. Off of turn number 2 down. Off of turn 4 down the front straightaway. The 5 of Giovanni Klein leads the field. Braden Holt, Josh Adams side by side behind. off a turn number 4 down the front straightaway now. Side by side with Josh Adams. This is right now we're kind of single file. Off a turn number 4 down the front straightaway once again, working on getting some graphics really quickly here. But off a turn number 4, side by side lead again, still Cole Steiner on the bottom with Giovanni Klein. Hunter Peach there in third, they're 3 wide towards the back. Pretty much double file through the whole field so far. Now back to single file up front, but here comes Hunter Peach down to the bottom. Both side. Oh, Hunter Peach big loose there in the middle of 3 and 4. A good save for Hunter Peach. But down the front straightaway, going down to the turn number 1. Cole Steiner holds the lead. He's got a little bit of the gap. Side by side through the whole field for now. Still Josh Adams holds the lead for now. Apologies. Work this out right now. Best I can. See if we can quick caution, hopefully. I'll try and reboot the sim really quickly. So far, Jonathan Parker, our race leader. Zach Romero is working the inside lane there. Trying to make some work. currently now 3 wide for seconds. I'll just the lack of commentary, the lack of graphics tonight. Just trying to get this worked out so far. Graphics are not working. Trying to get them out for the past hour, but trying to get these at least get a picture up on the broadcast for you guys. Is currently right now Jonathan Parker, these drivers just fighting for everything they can right now. Just kind of typical Atlanta racing so far, kind of double file. Can't really go 3 wide, but this tire we're not kicking in yet, as I think we're roughly probably about 15-20 laps in at this point. They're double file pretty much the entire field. These two up front. Jonathan Parker was our pole sitter. Zach McMahon sitting there in second. So far, pretty much double file through the field. On the inside, he's starting to pull up just a little bit right now. You kind of starting to see these drivers until Josh Adams there a little bit in the entering 3, that 12 machine, 2 Spider machine on the bottom. Got lost the rear end a little bit on the corner entry, so I think those rear tires really starting to play a factor. These NextGen cars just got brand new updates this week to the service, to iRacing, so it could change a little bit. Changes how this car handles a little bit looser, more tire wear. So it could really make this race car and make this track a little bit different in how these drivers have to approach how they save their tires. It can make it a lot more of a struggle, especially. Get some live timing up right now. Try to work at this still. So there we go. It's finally at this. But Zach and Mary, they're currently our race leader. Now they're the back straightaway. Currently the running order right now is Zach and Mary, Josh Adams, full center, John Parker, Kyle Taub, Stephen Maggio, Marcus Weather, Giovanni Klein, Cody McCorkle, Josh Arnold, Sam Wade, Hunter Peach, Nick Kapiak, Mike Campbell, Brendan Holt, Hunter Sr., Chris Wright, Donnie Kite, and Connor Thompson Gardner in the 30 machine. So all those drivers currently have 19 drivers in the field. Should have the rest of the graphics up here shortly. Zach McMahon still holds the lead. Jonathan Parker sitting there in second. Josh Adams sitting there in second. Jonathan Parker right there in third. Meanwhile, in the middle of the pack here, Cole Sider going for the move on the in the middle, 3 wide, back to the bottom. 3 wide now for the race lead, down the back straightaway. There we go, got some sort of tickers there. There's the those brackets results. I'm trying to hide these really quickly. There's your timing tower on the left of the screen. Trying to hide everything really quickly. I'm trying my best to hide this little new trying to hide this initial thing right now. Should have worked this out, but you kind of see it behind him a little bit transparent there. There we go. Now we figured it out a little bit. Here's the timing tower. Should figure out the tire here in just a second. There we go. So there's all those drivers. So there's the practice results. There's the Sam Wade there. But there was our race info. It isn't metric, but it's 53 degrees, so it's pretty hot, very hot track temp out there right now. But trying to get some race info up on the timing screen right now. So lap number 27 of 120. We're gonna try and get those working, but should have some sort of graphics now. So apologies for that delay on those. HBO wasn't working, so we had to quickly download the SDK and try to work those. Did not work properly, but right, do have the flags there, but they're trying to but there is our drivers. There's our time tower now. Down into turn number 3 here. Jonathan Parker, Mark Kissel, they're side by side. But lap 58, the timer is starting to play a much bigger factor. You're just really starting to see some of these drivers really starting to wiggle around, especially a corner entry. It's just really the rear tires seem to be much bigger aware of what they used to be, especially in this car. Right now, Jonathan Parker, he's been able to stay up front all night long. Cole Snyder was kind of been staying around that top 5. Should have some graphics, so it's going to be a little bit different than what you normally see. But right now, Jonathan Parker, our race leader. Steven Maggio there in second. His nickname and thing is a little bit different, so his name is there. Name isn't there, but that's still holding second right now. Gap currently from the race leader. Gonna work around these tactics, these graphics right now. Oh, there we go. Now we got it. So we'll bring our gaps. Try to get those flags off. Now in iRacing, instead of a club, it's just a flag, and you can change that to whatever you want. So you kind of saw a few of those drivers had some, a few of those drivers didn't. Early Jonathan Parker, currently our race leader. Steven Maggio still holds second right now. So there's the interval between each driver. the racetrack right now, down the back straightaway. Now, big block from Josh Adams there. Martin Kiswater sitting there in third. Little big loose there from Josh Adams. Josh Adams going to almost go around. He's big, great save from that 12 machine. It's been green the whole way so far, so these tires are really going to start to really play a big factor. We're really going to start to see these drivers really start to move around. As you have been seeing, as we're trying to find the weather block here. Right now, Jonathan Parker is still our race leader. Steven Maggio there in second. Zach Meredith in third. Trying to work that outside lane. See on the bottom, Josh Arnold, third car on the bottom. Down the back straightaway. Oh yeah, the car number on the ticker tower, so I'm going to get that now. So there's your car numbers, and then you'll have your gaps right next to them as well. Not really custom numbers, but so Jonathan Parker, main machine, but off of turn number 2. Oh, but off of turn 4. But Zachary Merritt, big loose around. I think he's going to round down the front straightaway. He goes around. And that brings out our first caution of the night. There's a little bit of contact off of turn number 4. He gets it back going, but that brings out our first caution of the night. So we can get a replay button here, hopefully. There it is. So we get a replay here off of turn number 4 here. Oh, it just gets really loose, gets down. It's Sam Wade there, and a little bit of contact with Nick Hapiak, but you saw just kind of lost it to the center of the corner, just the rear tires going away, and he just ends up spinning out. And that brings out our first caution of the night. But now everyone will no doubt come down pit road, top it off on fuel. So that will now be just over 80 to go, so we're still going to have one green flag pit stop. We'll see how these drivers get down pit road, who will be able to get off pit road first. But everyone's going to be coming down pit road. Try working, get our original graphics back for right now. Everyone down pit road. See the gaps there. Jonathan Parker was the first one down pit road, was leading at the time of caution. As all these drivers will take 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. Your first caution of the night. Sergeant's P&D caution flag. But Jonathan Parker is still our race leader out of pit road, as he'll come down to catch up back up to the pace car. have there. But currently, right now, down the back straightaway. Just going to get restarted on lap number 42 here. The green flag back in the air as Jonathan Parker gets back on the loud pedal down the front straightaway. So far down the back straightaway right now, Jonathan Parker still holds the Steven Maggio there in second. Is up the racetrack. There goes Josh Arnold. He'll use the outside lane, put those fresh tires in advance, try and grab the race lead away. Off of turn number 4, down the front straightaway, Jonathan Parker slows the lead. We're gonna get you a better graphic up on the screen right now. So my apologies for the delay and the kind of lack of original graphics. Stacey is not working so far tonight. So far, Jonathan Parker still leads. He's been out front. He's been the dominant driver so far tonight. Oh, big crash into turn number 1. Multiple drivers getting involved. That's Josh Arnold being one of those drivers there. Let's take a quick look at what happened. Let's take a look at what happened there. Down to the turn number 1 here. We have multiple drivers go around. A little bit of contact with Green Hill. Josh Arnold down to the turn 1. And just collects Mike Campbell, Sam Wade, a few other drivers. I believe that's kind of Thompson Carter getting involved there as well. That brings in our first caution, our second caution of the night. While we have the moment that we're going to take a quick break, we'll be right back here from Atlanta. Welcome back here to Atlanta EchoPark Speedway here for the NAOR Cup Series season. Race number 4 of the season. We're trying to get the graphics back up. For some reason it's not showing back up, but I'm trying to get the showing green flag back in the air as Josh Adams currently holds the lead. as they complete the first lap out of the sense of the caution. Jonathan Parker sitting there in second, Nick Kapiak in third. Down the back straightaway, entering turn number 3. They're side by side lead now. Nick Kapiak, Mark Kissenweather. Sitting there, second row is front row still. Jonathan Parker, Josh Adams. Down to the turn number 3 and 4, off the turn number 4 now. Down the front straightaway. Jonathan Parker holds the lead. Marcus Weather in second, side by side for third between Giovanni Klein and Josh Adams. Jonathan Parker with a good run off of turn number 2. Marcus Weather goes side by side for lead down to turn number 3 and 4. Side by side now, down the front straightaway into turn number 1 and 2. Jonathan Parker, Marcus Weather still lead the field. Working. Jonathan Parker holds the lead. Running line still there in second. But here comes Giovanni Klein, moves to the bottom for the race lead. As now he's going to try and pull the slider, kind of like you see in real life, and he does. It works out for him. He's going to take the race lead, kind of leapfrog Jonathan Parker for the lead. It works out. Giovanni Klein, the race leader now. As Jonathan Parker, we'll see if he tries to do the same thing here in the turn 1. Just can't do it though. He's got Mark Kissenweather inside. As Kissenweather runs the bottom of the racetrack, keeps right on that bottom, side by side with Giovanni Klein for the lead. Down the back straightaway now. Side by side with the entire field right now. Up the racetrack. Oh, but Giovanni Klein very loose. Jonathan Parker going to get a little bit around and a little bit of contact, and that's going to bring out another caution there. Let's take a look at what happened. As multiple cars go around. Let's take a look. See Giovanni Klein getting very loose, a little bit of contact with Zachary Meredith and Jonathan Parker. And it sends them both around. Steve Maggio had to get through this here between Kyle Taub and Zachary Meredith. And they are able to, and he was able to get mostly through okay. So far, he was okay there. But that brings out another caution. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back once again. here to Atlanta, EchoPark Speedway for the NAOR Cup Series. It's really right now. Martin is really close to the racing. Had a few cautions there, a few big wrecks, a lot of guys getting damaged. Trying to work on this really quickly. So lap number 6. So there's your current running order. That's lap number 62 of the race. So currently just past halfway through of this race. Trying to work on getting overlays back up. That's not working. Trying to get them on, but trying to work this out tonight. It's just apologies for all the delays, lack of commentary. Just trying to work and get these overlays going. Hopefully have them back up and running here shortly. But right now, Mark Kissweather, our race leader. Josh Adams will be second. Cole Steiner there in third. Nick Capamp in fourth. Ronnie Klein will be fifth. Excuse me, Hunter Beach on the outside lane there in that one machine. Sorry, Hunter Senior. Apologies. But now we're going back green flag racing here on lap number 63 as green flag back in the air. Marcus with a great launch once again. Now Cole Steiner right behind him. Jonathan Parker was involved in that last incident. He was one of these drivers to be up front all night long. He's going to work his way back up to the front. Off at turn number 4, down the front straightaway now, lap number 64 of the night. Mark Kissweather holds the lead. Cole Steiner there in second. Down the front straightaway. Cole Steiner sitting there in second. Side by side for third between Stephen Maggio and Giovanni Klein. So far, right now, Mark Kissweather, Cole Steiner still holding the race lead. You've seen tonight a lot of drivers struggle with this tire wear. You see a lot of damage from some of these drivers. Most of the field, I mean, these drivers really struggling, especially with like just real grip of rear grip. Stephen Maggio holding the race lead for now. Be side by side there with Cole Steiner, battling for that second place in line. Everyone just wiggling around, especially off these off the corners, in the middle of the corners. These drivers really struggling. So far through 3 and 4, side by side. Mark Kissweather, Stephen Maggio. Simon's at the field pretty much so far. Down into turn number 1. Stephen Maggio still holds the lead. Marcus in second, right there on the bottom. Just both lanes, just each lane trying to pull each other along. So far, so good since this last restart. Is the tires just going to get more and more worn though. A lot harder to run at full pace. And you have to do a lot of lifting, as you saw. The rear tires really seem to really kill these drivers. They really hurt the handling of these race cars. out. Down in the turn number 3 though, still dead even. Probably around lap number 70 now, so still about 50 laps to go. Still a while to go here. So we're gonna probably have one more pit. We're gonna have one more green flag stop. I think we'll probably see some tire wear play a big factor and cause another incident. But Steven Maggio clear for lead now, as they're side by side between Josh Adams and Mark Kisswither. Should have something back up here for you. Live timing is back up and running. We have nothing right now. Oh, the racetrack for nothing right now. We're trying to get this working. Back up and running. So far, oh, but Josh Adams, and he really loose from the center of the corner, and that's going to bring out a caution as he goes up there to the outside wall. Zachary Meredith spins through the grass there. Let's take a look at what happened there, as we saw Zachary Meredith really go around. Well, that brings out another caution of the night, but it was mainly with Josh Adams. So you see down here through the center of the 1 and 2, 3 and 4, sorry. It's a little loose. The rear tires go around and collects a few others. Johnny Kite getting involved. Let's clean McCorkle just getting through that. Should hopefully have it back up and running here. There it is. Apologies for the lack of graphics tonight. I was just trying to get it working throughout tonight. Just has not been working as we wanted it to. Should that back up and running, but a lot of these drivers are going to start to work on their work on their race cars right now. Chris Wright and Hunter Peach will be on the front row as we're just a lap 76 of the race now. Chris Wright will be our race leader when we restart. Just under 45 to go. Just gonna restart here. Chris Wright gonna be on the front row. Hunter Peach gonna be in second. As green flag back in the air. We're backing away here from Atlanta or EchoPark Speedway. Down into turn number 1. Chris Wright now leads. Steve Maggio sitting there in second. That's Hunter Peach there in third. Off of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. Down the front straightaway, entering turn number 1. Chris Wright holds lead. Steve Maggio there in second. Hunter Peach third. Holds fourth. Cole Snyder in fifth. A single file so far for now. As we saw a lot of cars with damage down. Just really see the tire wear really play a factor tonight. The handling of these race cars really a big struggle for a lot of these drivers. Up on the outside now. Marcus with his inside. It's down the front straightaway, entering turn number 1. So Hunter Peach slots back in line. So far, single file, not much happening right now. So right now, Steve Maggio out in front. Maggio still holds the lead as single file. I think a lot of the drivers really just kind of taking it easy now, knowing that these tires, this car is a handful out on this racetrack. Zacharias falling back a little bit there. As he falls back behind Donnie Kite is at a big moment there, I believe, off turn number 4, but side by side now with Tina Maggio, Giovanni Klein. Center falling back at the blinked out there, so you can see the ticker starting to buck out a little bit. He's blinking in and out. I think he's currently running second, kind of between Giovanni Klein and Marcus. He's giving him space there. turn 4. Marcus Weather holds the lead. Cole Steiner there in second. Shivani Klein third. So you imagine we're in outside lane now. Everyone really taking their time now. This tires, as you can see, the track is very hot. Let's take a look at that. And just kind of show. Oh, there's the weather. So let's just show the weather there. As you see the track temp, 118 degrees. So very hot track temp. You see at the very bottom there. And about 4 up is the temperature 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind looks like it's going 109 degrees. Get that tish. But if you know your car and other car using directions, well, actually, it should be pointing south. At that point, it starts from the top, but it's kind of staying around east, south. It's kind of southeast winds, so not correctly, 6 miles per hour. So the wind's definitely not playing too big of a factor right now, but hot in the day. 4:30 now, so it's going to start to cool down a little bit. And now we're getting into this last bit of this race. Everyone's really starting to take it easy. We've seen they've kind of been double file a lot this race. Really, really fighting each other, kind of burning up those tires, but they really start to struggle, and this tire really starts to fall off after about 10 laps, and it gets very tough to handle. Kind of what we see in real life. Makes it a very interesting race, a very interesting way how this drives. Down the back straight into turn number 3 and 4. This time by will reach 30 laps to go. So with about 45 to go, we should have enough fuel to the end. Turn number 4 down the front straightaway. Marcus jumps down in front of Hunter Peach. Shivani Klein working that outside lane now. Down the turn number 4, number 2. So I was really trying to find views, but no one really getting aggressive down. Just trying to ride out some of these laps. Oh, we got a crash into the back there. There's got a few cars around. Kyle Taub being one of those. Big crash there. Into turn number 1. Let's take a look at what happened. Kind of out of the quad oval. Let's take a look at what happened. It's just make a little bit of contact here with Shivani Klein. And just trying to goes a little bit down. I think he's just trying to slot in line and just didn't know he was down there. That brings out the caution. A lot of these drivers coming down pit road now, but Hunter Sr. will stay out on the racetrack. Cole Steiner there in second. Hunter Sr. will be the race leader. Mark Kiswell will be second. Actually, Hunter Sr. stayed out trying to trap Cole Steiner a lap down. It's Cole Steiner 3 laps down, so unfortunately there for Cole Steiner. Gonna have to hope for another caution. Hope for a few more cautions. Couldn't even McCorkle. He's lap back, I believe, but a lot of drivers in pit road. Going out to take another set of tires. We'll restart with under 25 to go. Here from EchoPark Speedway. Apologies for all the issues tonight with the tickers and all of that. Hunter Sr., Mark Kiswell, Stephen Maggio, Hunter Peach, Chris Wright, Nick Capiak, Donnie Kite, Josh Williams, Ronnie Klein, Zach Meredith, Josh Adams, Jonathan Parker, Mike Campbell, Kyle Taub, Cody Cole Steiner, Sam Wade, Connor Thompson-Gardner, and Braden Hull are running order. That's Sam Wade, Connor Thompson-Gardner, and Braden Hull all out of the race tonight. Cole Steiner 3 laps down, Cody McCorkle 2 down, and Kyle Taub 1 lap down. So we have 13 drivers on the lap. So we'll restart here with 24 laps to go. Coming up on Jones, P&D caution flag. Out of position. Is with her 8 to go. There it is right there, but trying to show these off as best as I can. For the pace car, they take that hard left turn onto pit road. Hunter Sr. gonna get back on the lap pedal. Green flag back in the air here with 24 to go. It's down into turn number 1 and 2. Hunter Sr. getting a good shove from Steven Maggio. Keep in mind, Hunter Sr. a little older tires. He did not come down pit road that last time by, so we'll see how well he can hold on. How the handling of that race car will matter a whole lot more. Some brand new updates in this section car that really changed a lot of this, especially with this hot track temp tonight. These tires are really wear out. And it's very tough to handle. We saw many incidents tonight being caused from just kind of lack of grip through the center of the corner, pushing a little bit too much, and just spinning around. And it brings out, and it just causes incidents, brings the caution. Right now, Steven Maggio now, our race leader. Steven Maggio leading for now as they're single file once again. No one can really get an outside lane moving right now. Down the back straight into turn 3. Steven Maggio holds the lead. Mark Kiswell, they're in second. Hunter Peach in third. Chris Wright in fourth. Josh Hunter Sr. single file in line, but trying to few drivers trying to work back up. As Hunter Senior moves to the outside lane, as he's also on those older tires, so he's really just kind of gaining time. He just does not have the grip of the race car. He's sliding a little bit much compared to these drivers. But Cole Snyder laps down. He's currently trying to work his way up as well. But Hunter Peach, Chris Wright, sitting there in third and fourth, is now Cole Snyder almost alongside them. Josh Reynolds sitting there in fifth. Josh Adams, Zachary Meredith. Down into turn number 3, single file, still through the whole field, but now I think we've seen a lot of incidents happen tonight, just kind of maybe a little over aggressive, maybe pushing those tires a little bit too much, and it really starts to kind of hurt those tires, and a lot of these drivers really start to lose the grip in the race car. And I think just with how many incidents we saw tonight, these drivers kind of want to be careful, just kind of want to just make sure to survive the next 17 laps of this race, and they're just trying to hold on as single file right now. No one really wants to make a move, knowing that outside lane is pretty much treacherous, because that's where we see a lot of those drivers lose it. It's on the outside, trying to keep that speed up through the center of the corner, and it's just where these drivers, they don't want to move up the racetrack, because there's Josh Adams trying to make something happen, but you need at least 3 or 4 to do it up there, but make a move up there to go up there and get a run. But it's just very tough to try and build that run, especially once it gets very loose. You see Josh Reynolds getting loose there on the apron from the bottom. You should get the kind of air on the racetrack. It's very loose, and Josh Reynolds gonna go around. He's gonna get to the outside wall. He's gonna keep it straight. We're gonna stay green, but big incident for Josh Reynolds. That's gonna give him a lot of damage. That will most definitely cost his race, as he's gonna have a lot of right front damage on that race car. Josh Arnold goes around as that all started there in a center of 3 and 4, losing the back end of the race car, getting looser and looser throughout the run. But that's how it starts, and I think these drivers just don't want to risk making too many moves early. They just want to try and survive and put themselves in that position at the best possible time. So you see some of these drivers in the back, they try to work their way up, trying to put themselves in that top 3 or 4, knowing that's going to be the spot you want to be in this last few laps, because it's going to be hard to move up, especially with the lack of grip and lack of tire wear. As you kind of start to see the gap starting to split apart a little bit, as you see with Steven Maggio, Mark Kissemother, Hunter Peach sitting there in third, is kind of falling back a little bit, a couple tenths back. Right now, Steven Maggio holds the lead. He's been dominating so far since Jonathan Barker wrecked out a few, had his incident a little bit ago. But now we're just taking these laps off one by one, just trying to get to the finish. No one making too many moves up front right now, but no one up front wants to move up and try to give those drivers behind and try to use that outside lane to work together, knowing that that's going to hurt them in their positioning. But we may see someone like Josh Adams, maybe Chris Wright. They're going to try to make a move here in the next 5 or so laps, trying to get up there. As you saw Josh Adams trying to make a few moves, Zachary Meredith, maybe Nick Kapiak, who's thinking about looking. Hunter Senior, a little bit on the older tires. He's trying to make some of the moves, but it's going to be really hard for Hunter Senior, especially with those older tires. He stayed out that last caution. That handling of that race car really starting to matter. But as you see this, maybe a part of it as well, just these drivers getting used to these new updates of this race car, a brand new tire model, brand new air model, and it just really makes the tires wear a lot more. And I think that's what makes this a little bit more realistic. In real life, you kind of see the handling really be a factor. In iRacing, really wasn't that big of a factor. It may have got tight a little bit later in the run, but it really did not make a whole much of a difference, especially at nighttime. But we are in the daytime. Really hot track temp, the tires are just getting eaten up after a certain amount of laps, and these drivers are really learning the hard way of how to handle this race car, and just struggling to figure it out, and I think Elena was a really good track to kind of get that back in line. It's been a very fun race tonight. Now here comes the outside lane. Josh Adams moves up. Zachary Meredith and Nick Capiak. So there they go. Drivers starting to make the moves now with 11 to go. Coming to 10 to go. Josh Adams trying to work to the bottom. Trying to get to the inside of Mark Kisselweather. But Steven Maggio holds the lead still. Mark Kisselweather, they single file back out, but Nick Capiak trying to make some moves work on the outside lane. He slots back in line and leaves his team Donnie Kite on the outside lane. Donnie Kite trying to work his way up now. He drives in a lot deeper. As you see how much deeper you can drive it on the outside. It works, but you gotta have the tire grip. You gotta have the car control. It's just the handling. The setup probably not the best for that handling. And it's just really going to make this a lot more interesting later in the season, knowing how much different this car handles. And it'll definitely be very fun to watch, and very fun to watch these races later in the season. It's only the start of these brand new updates. These drivers are going to have to start to learn the new updates, learn the dirty air. Seems a lot looser, a lot better. But we'll have to see. But coming to 8 laps to go, we saw the outside move a few laps ago. Work a little bit for Josh Adams and Zachary Meredith, but then it died off, but they put themselves in a better spot. Here comes Hunter Peach. He wants to try and work up to back up to that 3rd place spot. Donnie Kite on the outside behind him, a little bit back, but he's going to be able to get that run. Marcus Weather a little bit loose there, right in front of Josh Adams, but Donnie Kite going to give a good shove to Hunter Peach down the front straightaway. Down into turn number 1, going to get to the outside, going to try and drive it in as deep as possible. They're going to really have to check up on the bottom between Josh Adams and Zach Meredith. As the outside lane really starting to come in now. 8 laps to go, down the back straightaway, coming into turn number 3, dead even for row 3 and all back. And right now, Mark Kisselweather, Steven Maggio out in front by themselves by a few car lengths, but the outside going to start to come into play. As now they're able to generate a little bit more runs. You seem to have the handling up on the race, up on top of the racetrack right now. So far off the turn number 2. Mark Kisselweather now. He's trying to block that outside lane. Doesn't want to let Hunter Peach to his outside, knowing the inside lane a little bit slower. Hunter Peach thinks about moving to the bottom, and a little bit of cross to the center of the corner, and let's go sit him around hard to the outside wall. Goes Hunter Peach, and collects Donnie Kite. They both keep it straight. We stay green. We're still green out of the racetrack with 6 laps to go. That does not bring out a caution. As Steven Maggio, Mark Kisselweather gets a few more car lengths to 3rd and 4th. As now it's only a 4-car pack for the lead. As with 6 laps to go, as that was a wreck there with Hunter Peach. Let's take a quick look at that one while we have the time for it. Into turn number 3 and 4. So going into 3 and 4, you gotta see he dives down on the bottom, then hesitates and goes back on the racetrack, and that loses the rear end of the race car, especially with Donnie Kite right behind him. It gets a little bit of contact with Josh Adams. It sends him a lot around. But now with 5 to go, there's Hunter Peach. He's gonna getting passed by a few other drivers, but now a 4-car pack for the lead, and this is gonna be for the win unless we see a caution in the next 3 laps to maybe trigger overtime. But down into turn number 1, Steven Maggio, the race leader. Mark Kisselweather there in 2nd. Zachary Meredith and Josh Adams, the 4, battling for the win. 4 laps to go here from EchoPark Speedway and race number 6 of the season. It's been a fun night tonight. We saw drivers lose the grip of the race car. We see the handling be a very big factor of who can move up to the front. You see Marcus trying to get to the outside, trying to make a move, but no one really going with them. These cars all over the racetrack. So the tires really starting to play a factor. You see Zachary Meredith losing a little bit off of 4, but 3 to go now. Steven Maggio, the race leader. Mark Kisselweather. Zachary Meredith. He's leaving that inside lane open, trying to get a little bit of arc because you don't want to turn too much going into the corner. That will lose the rear end, will step out of the race car, but Josh Adams trying to take advantage of that gap being left by Zachary Meredith. They're going to catch a lap car, Giovanni Klein, into turn number 3 here. But this time by will be 2 laps to go. Zachary Meredith really getting loose off turn 4. They're going to be side by side for 3rd. That's going to cost them some time. It's going to be between Steven Maggio and Mark Kisselweather for now with 2 to go. Down into turn number 1, they're pulling away by multiple car lengths as Josh Adams slots behind Zachary Meredith again. Should they work together, get a run, maybe try to use the outside lane, try and get a big run off of turn 4 here. Down the back straightaway, into turn number 3 for the penultimate time. Stevie Maggio looking for the win, but Zachary Meredith trying to go to the outside. That's going to give Stevie Maggio a big gap. He's going to pretty much be a sitting duck out in front right now. Can he hold on? Does he have the grip? 1 lap to go. Mile and a half here from Atlanta. It's up the racetrack. Mark Kissenweather going to try and cut down the racetrack. Going to try and get a run down the back straightaway. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Does Mark Kissenweather have something for Stephen Maggio into turn number 3? He's going to try and get on the back bumper, try and go up the racetrack a little bit. Going to try and get the exit off the corner, but it's not going to work. Stephen Maggio, perfect handling race car. Hit off of turn number 4. Stephen Maggio will win at EchoPark Speedway, Atlanta, and he will win race number 6 of the season. Stephen Maggio able to lead, dominate the final restart. He's led pretty much all 25 laps since that final restart. And Stephen Maggio, our race winner for tonight. Stephen Maggio will burn it down, our race winner. We'll talk to him in just a moment. He's going to burn it down here at EchoPark Speedway, Atlanta. Just freshly renamed, just about maybe a week ago. Stephen Maggio burns it down. So while he celebrates, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here from Atlanta. Welcome back here to Atlanta. As we just saw the race finish up, as Stephen Maggio was our race winner. As we'll bring up the correct results here. But Stephen Maggio, our race winner. Mark Kissenweather in 2nd. Zachary Meredith in 3rd. Josh Adams in 4th. Nick Kapik in 5th. Hunter Senior 6th. Chris Wright in 7th. Josh Arnold in 8th. Mike Campbell in 9th. Giovanni Klein 10th. Kyle Todd will finish 11th. Jonathan Parker in 12th. Cody McCorkle in 13th. Cole Steiner 14th. Hunter Peach in 15th. Donnie Kite in 16th. Kyle Thompson finishing 17th tonight, and Braden Hall finishing 18th tonight. But a little weird instance tonight is just the overlays making a big problem. But we'll get our top 3 interviews here in just a second. We'll try and find Stephen Maggio in the Discord. Not in the Discord there yet, so we'll wait for him to join the Discord here in just a second. Meanwhile, we'll bring in our 3rd place finisher of Zachary Meredith, as my computer would like to work. There we go. Zachary Meredith, our 3rd place finisher tonight. Seemed a lot very tough out there. Just talk us through your race tonight, and just how tough was it out there tonight?
I don't know how much beating my car could have taken to finish this race. I don't know how I even finished third, let alone a top 10. I mean, I was basically involved in every wreck under the sun. The track temp was unbelievably hot, so it was cooking the tires. I never thought I would have to try to conserve tires at a super speedway, but I mean, during the first run, my right rear was at 45%, so that's why I got loose and spun it in turn 3 and 4. But yeah, just trying to make passes and everything on this set. Well, not the setup, but just the hot track and the style of this car after the update it was pretty hard. Um, I mean, I don't know if anything really went right in this race for me besides finishing third. Besides the literal finish, I don't think anything in this race went right for me. But I'll take a third place finish. I was hoping I could have pushed Mark to a win. Maybe I could have snuck past him, or Adams could have pushed me. But with 4 cars and with 5-6 laps remaining, I mean, it's kind of hard to pull out and pass somebody. But I'll take a third. But it was definitely pretty brutal.
And just kind of talk us through tonight, just how the new updates and just how much different was it, especially here, as you see a lot of tonight. Just tire wear seemed to be and handling seemed to be the main factors. Just talk us just how these new updates and how you're going to be able to kind of adapt to these updates, these new updates, and how everyone else just how it was tonight, really.
I mean, they definitely made the car more realistic. It drives like junk, is what a lot of Cup drivers say. I mean, in the draft, it's super tight. And clean air, if someone's pushing you, I mean, you could get aero loose. I mean, that happened a lot in practice, and it happened in the race several times. It's going to be a learning curve, right? Because now they made the cars more realistic, so now we actually can kind of see what the real-life drivers really drive. As for this going forward, at least at Atlanta, I don't know, because I've never driven Atlanta with this hot of a temperature. So, I mean, if this would have been 100-degree track temp or 90-degree track temp, I feel like tire wear probably wouldn't have been much of an issue. But with it being 140, 130, 135, I mean, it was just shredding through tires. Everybody that I talked to was just talking about how bad the tires were falling off. But as for going to like Talladega or Daytona, couldn't imagine much tire wear, but I think the passing is definitely going to be limited with how these cars are just in the draft. I mean, you watched it. I mean, it's hard to pass. Everybody just ran single file. When you made a move, you basically had to get right back in line, or you were going straight to the back, unless you had 4, 5, 6 guys coming with you to make moves. So it's going to be a learning curve, but I mean, it's definitely fun just because it's something new, but it's going to be a little challenging.
And yeah, it was definitely fun to watch tonight with a lot of you guys just kind of slipping and sliding around. It was definitely made it a little bit more interesting compared to your normal Atlanta race, but you're still able to survive that last wreck with about 5 to go, and able to pick up a solid third place run for you tonight. But before you send off on your way, Andy, sponsor the link for tonight's third place run.
Yeah, shout out to you guys for broadcasting. I can't wait to go back and watch how this race unfolded from you guys' perspective. But shout out to all my boys that I talk to every day: Cole, J. Paul, Peach, Mark, Cheese, and the rest of the guys. Griff, since he didn't make it. Hi, Griff. And then shout out to Byron Jones Paint ND for painting the paint scheme for the Publix car that I've been running lately. I ran it for 3 races and I finished in the top 6 in all 3 races, so I guess it's my good luck scheme currently.
Yeah, once again, congrats on your third place run. We'll see you next week. I'm gonna get my schedules up ready, but we'll see you next week at Le Mans. So it'll be interesting.
Ooh, I have some experience at Le Mans in the NextGen car.
So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes next week. But actually, no, it's not next week. It is a week off. So my apologies there. But we'll see you next race at Le Mans.
Yes, sir.
So that was our third place finisher of Zachary Meredith. We'll bring in our second place finisher of Mark Kissweather here, and a little bit backwards to the normal 3, 2, and 1. But Mark Kissweather, our second place finisher tonight, not able to hold on to second, but just talk us through how your night went, and what do you think you could have differently to maybe get Steven Maggio there at the line?
Yeah, my night was pretty good actually. I got his no incidents, wasn't involved in anything. I kind of hit who was that? Josh Adams. So sorry to him. I apologize via text chat, and I didn't even really get into him at all. Just put air on a spoiler, and he got loose and hit the apron. But I don't know. Just probably could have tried to get a better run uh earlier. Then I waited too long, and then every time I stepped out, I just got loose, so I couldn't really do anything.
Yeah, just tonight it seemed a lot more struggles with the brand new updates that just came this week. A lot of you guys seem to be really struggling with the tire wear and just the handling of the race car. Just kind of talk just how the car's handled tonight and just how are you able to kind of adapt to the new updates tonight.
For me, it was like the second I got clean air or tried to go to the middle in 3 and 4, it just would start getting so loose. I think with like 2 to 3, like lap 119, I tried to step out with Zach to generate a run to pass Maggio. I just got so loose I had to lift, and it just killed all my momentum.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting and fun to watch up here tonight with just all the handling and how that mattered. But you're still able to pick up a very solid second place finish for you tonight and a good points tonight for you. But before you send off on your way, any sponsor link for tonight's second place run?
Just Josh for putting on the league and all the league sponsors, Pizza and Wings, Go Times Cards, Coulter's Cards, and all the supporters of this league.
All right, once again, congrats on your second place run. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Le Mans.
All right, thank you.
So that was Mark Kisswether, our second place finisher. We'll bring in our race winner now and bring it down to Pizza and Wings victory lane for Steven Maggio. Able to get the win there. It was definitely an interesting race tonight. We saw a lot of these drivers slipping and sliding around. Just talk us through how you're able to get up, put yourself up front tonight, and just how tough was that handling out there?
It was pretty hard to drive it, which made it really fun. Most of the time I do these league races at Atlanta, and they make it a night race, and then it's really cold, and it's not boring, but it's just, it's not, you don't have to drive the car really, and if the guys on the bottom know what they're doing, if the first two on the bottom know what they're doing, then it makes it really hard for anyone to get by them. But then when you crank up the track temp and make it a day race, then it just makes it so much harder to drive, and you really have to actually drive it, unlike other super speedways where you just full throttle the whole time. I mean, I was letting off pretty much every single turn here, and that just made it really fun, and I was just trying to string him out at the end there. You know, at the beginning of the race I was trying to keep the car clean, and then towards the end I was just thinking if I could just get him strung out a lot, maybe he won't be able to build a run on me. And then he had a run with about 3 or 4 to go, and he didn't take it because I think he was just thinking I'm gonna wait till the last, or he would wait till the last lap or 2 laps to go. But once I got strung out with I think Zachary had an issue, and then he just never got a run on me again. So it was super fun. I loved that it was harder to drive, and I wish more leagues would do it like this.
Especially just with that harder to drive, it seemed to be like tire wear. Just kind of talk how tire wear, just how I mean, how aggressive was that tire wear tonight? Just how much were those tires really being hurt?
I don't know, because I mean I would feel pretty loose after about 5 laps into a run, especially if you had a guy packing air on you. But it didn't seem like it necessarily got worse. It just kind of seemed like, you know, for fresh tires you had, you know, maybe 5 to 10 laps of pretty being all right, and then after that it was just kind of the same, you know, from 10 laps into the run to 40 laps into the run. I didn't notice a huge difference unless you really murdered your stuff at the beginning of the run, because at the first run of the race I started in the back and I pushed pretty hard to get up there, and by the end I was struggling a little bit because I pushed pretty hard and I was just trying to not wreck at that point. But then after that, when I was already at the front and I was able to just, you know, run a normal line and make sure I wasn't sliding the rear too much and all that stuff. It's funny to say that at a super speedway, but it's true, and I was just trying to manage that, and I never really noticed it get worse after 10 laps. So I don't know, it just naturally, from it being hot, it makes it hard to drive right from the get-go. There's not really too much tire wear.
Yeah, but you're able to master the handling and able to put yourself up front in the perfect time and survive that last wreck with about 5 to go. It took a lot of these drivers out, but you're still able to pick up the race win tonight. But before you sit on following away, any sponsored link for tonight's race win?
Yeah, shout out you in the booth. As always, fun to watch you broadcast, and I appreciate your time broadcasting. I don't know if you'd rather be racing, but I always would rather be racing. So I have a big appreciation for the guys who are willing to broadcast instead of race. Shout out to Josh Arnold, because he lets me race in here and he does a good job hosting the league, I believe. One of the best hosts, and he just does stuff right in the right way. And shout out JP for inviting me to the league. And I was trying to work with him before he got wrecked, so that was disappointing because he has the worst luck ever at these tracks. And trying to help him and keep him up front and maybe get him a win, but he just has terrible luck. He always gets wrecked. But I think that's about it. Sorry, I kind of yapped there at the end, but thank you.
All good, but once again, congrats on your race win, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Le Mans.
Thank you. Have a good night.
That was our race winner of Stephen Maggio, just coming from Pizza and Wings Victory Lane as we wrap it up here tonight. But that was definitely a fun race. We saw handling really be a big factor. It was changed a lot of these was definitely a struggle for a lot of these drivers tonight, but it was definitely fun to watch all those drivers battle duke it out. But Stephen Maggio was able to pick up the race win, as I mentioned before. Coming up next, it will be the road course at Le Mans, so that will definitely be fun to watch for, but will be in 2 weeks' time. So that will definitely so we do have an off week next week. But before we get there, coming up next here on the Legends Racing Network, Sunday night we'll have the Stampede Racing League Juice Spiders Premier Series. They'll be going to Charlotte in the brand new updated NextGen Car as well, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And on Monday night we'll have the 5 Points Racing League Turnkey Downward Solution Series. They'll be going to Watkins Glen, 9 o'clock Eastern Time for Chase Race number 2. On Tuesday night we'll have the Legends Racing League Gen 4 season opener at Legacy Daytona, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Tuesday night. We'll be off on Wednesday night for the Superstar ARCA Cup. And on Thursday night, we'll have the Undisputed Cup Series back at Charlotte, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll also be off on Friday for the NAOR Cup Series. And then the week after, we'll have the Superstar Cup back on schedule at Michigan for the regular season finale, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, we'll have the NAOR Cup Series on June 27th back at Le Mans at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. But it was definitely a fun race to call tonight. Apologies for all the technical difficulties and especially the lack of graphics and trying to work through those issues tonight. Hopefully we'll get those fixed up. Should get those fixed up by the next time. But we'll see you all next time here on the Legends Racing Network. So long here from EchoPark Motor Speedway, our virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see you next time here on the Legends Racing Network.